Supervisors should develop strategies that focus on motivation factors. Hygiene factors are not unimportant, but they don't contribute to positive motivation even when they're present. Expectancy theory states that employees perform better when they believe their efforts will lead to desired rewards. For example, if you think that working hard on a particular project will get you a promotion, you'll work hard for it. Supervisors should clarify performance-reward linkages so that employees are clear about them. Rewards may be extrinsic, such as additional pay, or intrinsic, such as a sense of accomplishment. Equity theory provides an explanation for how people strive for fairness in the workplace. This often involves the comparison of input-outcome ratios, where input includes seniority, experience, age, skill, ability, and job knowledge, and outcomes include salary, working conditions, promotion, and benefits. If there is inequality when input-outcome ratios are compared to the referent other, then there is inequity. Important in determining motivation is the relative, not the absolute level of inputs and outcomes. This means that even if an inequity does not actually exist, an employee will still act as if it does because that is how the situation is perceived, and perception is reality to the person. There are two types of inequity in the workplace. Negative or underpayment inequity. This occurs when inputs are greater than outcomes relative to the referent other. To remedy this situation, a person will either try to increase the level of outcomes based on the same level or inputs, or will decrease their level of inputs to achieve the same outcomes. This means, let's say you're working in a job and you perceive someone else as making more money than you or getting greater rewards than you, even though you feel that you're doing the same exact job. Positive or overpayment inequity occurs when outcomes are greater than inputs relative to the other person. Most people will not be motivated to remedy this situation. An example of this would be if you're doing a job identical to a coworker and you find out that you make more than he or she does. Generally, you won't be inclined to do anything about this, like go to your boss and say that you should make less money. For supervisors, equity theory answers the following questions. What is fair, what's not fair, and what would it take to make it fair? Difficult people are those who blame others for their own problems and often resort to behaviors that are detrimental to themselves and the organization. Some will withdraw from their responsibilities and barely get by, while others will adopt aggressive behaviors. In dealing with difficult people, supervisors must focus on the situation or behavior and not on the person themselves. During a private meeting, they should give clear examples of the problem behavior and be just as clear about what they expect from them. If the problem behaviors don't change by a specified deadline, then a supervisor should seek help from upper management. Rude behavior and incivility is on the rise in the workplace. Those on the receiving end of such behaviors often react by spending a great deal of time worrying, decreasing their work effort, and even quitting their jobs. According to performance expert Aubrey Daniels, the behavior cannot be separated from the antecedents that come before it and the consequences that come after it. Supervisors should clearly identify what they want an employee to do. Then they must make sure the employee knows what the job entails, has the appropriate materials and training, and knows what outcome level is expected. Law of effect. This is one of the consequences. This is when behavior with favorable consequences is repeated. Behavior with unfavorable consequences tend to disappear. Extinction is when good behavior occurs frequently or disappears because it's not recognized. Positive reinforcement makes behavior occur more often because it's linked to a positive consequence. Punishment means making behavior occur less frequently because it's linked to undesirable consequences. Negative reinforcement entails making behavior occur more frequently by removing an undesirable consequence. While Theory X assumes the worst about employees, that they don't like their work and you have to coerce them into doing anything, Theory Y managers assume that work is like play to most employees and that they trust them to do a job well. McGregor's Theory X states that employees have to be coerced into doing their job. The advantages of micromanaging employees in this way and looking over their shoulder to make sure they do what they're supposed to is that in the short run, a job is usually done more quickly. The disadvantages of this type of management style is that there's little opportunity for employees' personal growth, and employees may resent this management style. Theory Y, however, assumes that employees enjoy their work and they can direct themselves. The advantages to this management style is that it promotes individual growth by allowing employees to satisfy higher-level needs on the job. The disadvantages is that it's time-consuming and not everyone is capable of the coaching supervision the style requires. Job redesign is the belief that well-designed jobs lead to increased motivation. According to Hackman and Oldman, the higher the experience, meaningfulness of work done, responsibility for work done, and knowledge of results for an employee, the more positive will be the work-related outcomes. This model holds that all jobs have 5 core dimensions: skill variety, task identity, task significance, autonomy, and feedback. To broaden the scope and importance of a job, you can rely on job rotation. This is the process of switching job tasks among employees in the work group. Job enlargement means increasing the number of tasks an individual performs. And then there's job enrichment. This job design helps fulfill employees' higher-level needs by giving them more challenging tasks and more decision-making responsibility for their jobs. This requires delegation and can make some supervisors uneasy. Participative management is a supervisory approach that gives employees an active role in making decisions about their jobs. Some of the advantages is that decisions tend to be better quality and employees are more willing to accept the decisions that they help to develop. Some disadvantages is that it's time-consuming and some supervisors have trouble delegating that much. Employee suggestion programs motivate employees to come up with ideas to improve working conditions or processes. Implementation of an idea is often seen as a greater reward than a monetary one. Employee involvement programs use participative management programs as an ongoing activity. There are many names for these types of programs, including problem-solving teams, quality circles, labor management participation teams, semi-autonomous work teams, etc. Management by objectives is a participative management system through which jointly set objectives are used for performance appraisals. Some other tips for motivating that supervisors should follow is to clearly define expectations, provide immediate feedback, provide desired and valued consequences for a job well done, create a learning organization, and finally treat employees with trust and respect.